Well, guys, in the previous video, we have seen how we can create the Azure App configuration, right? Azure App configuration, and this Azure App configuration we use to store uh, our connection string type of values, which we shouldn't put it into the application code, right? Generally what we do this with the help of the app settings so that we can directly manage it through this app configuration. This is better to have one repository for storing all the type of keys which our application code want to refer it from the Azure resources like Azure SQL database connection string, then your Redis cache, then Azure Service Bus connection, and so on and so forth. So we have seen that how we can use this app configuration to store our key and corresponding values and with the labels like dev, test, and prod. So in the previous video, we have seen that. And then we can access this with the help of the connection string here in our application code. So I already have ASP.NET Core API application, and in that I have already added the entity framework core packages and the most important package, that is Microsoft.Azure.app configuration.ASP.NET Core, with the help of which we can connect to the app configuration. Okay, that we have already added. This is what my code is, ecom context, with the help of which we will connect to the Azure SQL database to get the data for the product info. Okay, that's what the thing is. Now, let me go back to the program.cs here and then let me write the code to connect to the app configuration based upon its connection string. So let me copy the connection string from here. Okay. And as you know that in our ASP.NET Core, all our connection strings are actually accessible through the connection strings prefix, right? So you know that builder.configuration.get connection strings, we have that. So basically, with the help of builder.configuration, we can get access to this connection string store into the project. So now to access that in our code, we will have to connect to the app configuration, and then uh, we have to read the connection string values from that. So let me go back to the code here, and here I'll say builder.configuration.add Azure App Configuration here, and then I'll say that options goes into, and here I'll just say options dot connect. Okay, and I'm gonna paste this value here, and then I'll say dot select, and then I'm gonna select my connection strings. So here I'll say that connection strings colon star. So all the connection strings will be accessible, which are stored there into my Azure App Configuration. So let me go back, edit, and see here. We are having connection strings colon, that's a prefix, and then we will be having access to this app called str. That's what that we will be doing. So let me copy this application called str. Let me go back, and here now I'll say that builder dot services dot add db context. We will I'll have ecom context, and here I'll say that options goes into, I'll have options dot use SQL server, and here I'm gonna put the value. So I'll say that now builder dot configuration dot get connection string, and then I'm passing this app connection string to the app on application con str, the value here. So basically what's going to happen is that to my code, to my ASP.NET Core application, the application will first connect to the Azure App Configuration. It will select the connection strings, and then based upon that, it will get the value of the connection string based upon its actual name, which we have stored here, that is application con str. That's how it is. Okay, now once this is done, let's create the API. So I'll say that app.mapgate, right? I'll have here slash API slash products. Okay, and here I'll say async. Okay, and what I'm going to do over here is the further thing is that I'm going to inject our ecom context here. Okay, and then I'll say return await context dot product infos dot to list async. That's it. I'm just creating that. Okay, and let us run this. Right. So this is there with me. So what we have done over here is that we have basically added the corresponding code. Now here it is giving me some error that services collection cannot be modified because it is been read. Okay. So wow. So I have added this at wrong place after the build. So let me take it from here and paste it here. Okay, that's it. Before the build, right? And now let's run this. Right now it is available on 5132. So let's go to that. And here I'll have slash API slash products. So this is going to connect to the uh, Azure, and then it is going to get the code from the database. Okay. So if I go to this, and this is what my database, I'm going to go to the query editor here. Let me log in, and then I should be able to get this. I'll say that select star from product info, and I'm having this ECD ID and dev laptop and all and all and all. So this is what that I'm getting it. So this is the way that how we should basically store our all the connection strings to the Azure app configuration and use it over here in a code. See, the advantage of this approach over here is that it is not necessary for us to repeat the same code for having the connection strings again and again and again. So in a different environment also you can easily keep on switching, okay, based upon the label, right? Dev environment to the test environment to the product environment. So it provides a great scale of flexibility of modifying the value. So tomorrow, if you're changing the database provider, you are going to, or maybe the database itself, right? It's SQL Server, but you want to change the server name, server configuration. You need to directly go into the Azure App Configuration and you can modify it. It is not at all necessary for you to make any code changes. That's what the advantage of making a use of this Azure App Configuration. Okay, guys, thank you. Enjoy coding. Thanks.